So tell me about the book you're reading.
Okay, this is by Daniel Ariely, and it has to do, his title of it is Predictably Irrational. So he's describing how people think they make rational decisions, but they're not really rational. So he likes to do experiments with college students that typically involve free beer. So he set up a table in the student union at MIT and set up two pitchers of beer. They both had Budweiser in them, but one of the pitchers had several drops of balsamic vinegar in it. And strangely enough, people think that adding a couple drops of balsamic vinegar to beer actually makes it taste better. So he started the experiment by not telling the students which beer was which or what was in each one. And the vast majority of the people preferred the pitcher of beer that had the couple drops of balsamic vinegar. And so once they picked that one from the sample glass, then he would pour them a full glass and they could walk away with a free glass of beer. So then he changed the experiment, and when people walked up, he would tell them ahead of time that the pitcher on the right has a couple drops of balsamic vinegar in it. Well, students would still go through with the experiment, and they would grudgingly pick up the glass with the balsamic vinegar, grimace a little bit and take a sip, and then prefer the glass without the balsamic vinegar. So here the pre-knowledge of what was in there significantly changed their perception of what they liked. So then he did one final variation, and he did not tell the students what was in each pitcher, let them sample it, let them choose which one they wanted, but before he poured their full glass of free beer, he then told them what was in each one. And they were mildly amused at which one they picked, but they did not let that subsequent information change their original perception. So he's seeing how people perceive things and how subsequent information doesn't change that original perception. So then he went on, he graduated on from free beer to other preconceptions. So there are stereotypes around, unfortunately, that aren't true, but they go like the following. Asian students are smarter than others. Unfortunate stereotype. Another unfortunate stereotype, women are not good at math. Okay, so you can imagine what he did. He collected together about 250 Asian women at MIT and ran an experiment on them. He divided them into two groups. The first group, he had each one of them complete a little survey. So the survey wasn't telling them anything, but it was asking them questions. So the first group took a survey that asked them questions about getting at their ethnic background. You know, what is your home country? You know, what is your original language, and so forth. So it got them thinking about their ethnic background. And then the second part of the experiment gave them a math test. The other group, the survey asked them questions that had to do with their gender, like what was their opinion of co-ed dorms. You know, nothing positive or negative about gender, but just got them thinking about gender. And then take the math test. The students that took the survey about ethnic background did significantly better on the math test than the students who took the survey about gender. So again, how even, this isn't beer and how you perceive beer, this is about how perceptions of yourself can influence how you perform. So then he had one final variation. He had students answer a survey that had words about age in it. One of the surveys had things like Florida, retirement, you know, and so forth, just terms that got you thinking about age. And another survey that the other group of students took a survey that had you thinking about things about youth and outdoor activities and so forth. So two different groups, each one would come in, take one of the two surveys, and then he'd thank them and they'd leave. Except that wasn't really the experiment. What the experiment really was is he then timed how long it took them to walk down the hall outside the building and leave. And the people that took the survey that had to do with age took significantly longer to kind of hobble down the hallway and leave the building. So again, ways that your own perceptions of yourself influence your own performance, even though you'd swear that that would never be the case.